Hi all, welcome to my 18th series for the topic EE 216 Electrical Engineering for Applied Electronics and Instrumentation. Actually, this is a part of Module 6, Part 4, and today's topic is Moving Iron Instrument. We have already seen two types of instruments, moving coil instrument as well as dynamometer type instrument, and this is a third type what you are going to study today. It is moving iron instruments, and actually the topics that will be covered today, you are having under the moving iron instruments, you are having the attraction type. We will be seeing on to the construction and working principle. Then we will move on to repulsion type moving iron instrument. Under repulsion type, you are having two types. One is a radial type and second is a coaxial type. We will be seeing the construction of both radial type and coaxial type. The working principle of repulsion type motor, its torque equation, followed by merits and demerits of moving iron instrument, applications as voltmeter and ammeter for moving coil instruments, and finally, since you are done with all the three types of instruments, we'll see the comparison between various instruments. Now, types of indicating instrument, this is a third type and is moving iron instruments, and in this type of instrument, the coil is stationary and the deflection is caused by the soft iron piece or pieces moving in the field produced by the coil. The coil is stationary and the iron part is moving. And you are having two types, attraction type, which is otherwise known as single iron type, and second type is called the repulsion type, otherwise known as the double iron type. So first we will see the attraction type moving iron instrument. Just have a look at the cross section of a typical attraction type moving iron instrument. Here this is my stationary coil. This is my moving iron of peculiar shape, which is attached to a spindle. You can see the controlling torque is provided by a control weight, and this is a balance weight. To the moving system, you can see the pointer, the graduated scale, and the damping is provided by air friction damping. So the figure shows a cross-sectional view of attraction type moving iron instrument. Now it works upon the principle that a soft iron placed near the magnetic field gets attracted towards it. The force of attraction depends upon strength of the magnetic field. The magnetic field is induced on the soft iron piece by the electromagnet depends upon the magnetic strength, which in turn depends upon the magnitude of the current passing through it. Depending upon this phenomenon, you are having attraction type moving iron instrument. So we'll go into the details, the constructional details. Like any other instrument, you are having the stationary system, you are having the moving system, you are having the controlling system, damping system, and finally the scales and pointer. So we'll discuss one by one. The stationary system uses a cylindrical coil or solenoid, can be made up of copper or aluminum wire, and it is wound on a bobbin, and same is fixed. The stationary system is provided by a coil. Now it is excited by the voltage or current whose magnitude is to be measured. Same acts as an electromagnet whose magnetic field strength increases or decreases with the magnitude of current passing through it. The number of turns of the coil very much depends upon the range of the instrument. Again, the same diagram has been shown once more. Now the moving system, yet another diagram but which conveys the same meaning. The moving system, it is provided by an oval shape, a peculiar shape, oval shaped soft iron piece, a single soft iron piece, or it can be made up of a high permeability steel and is used as a moving element. Same is eccentrically pivoted. It is pivoted at this point. It is eccentrically pivoted onto the spindle in front of the coil. So this is my coil and it is pivoted at the center of the coil. This iron tends to move inward. It can move this inward, and that is from weaker magnetic field to stronger magnetic field when current flows through the coil. The spindle is supported at two ends on a pair of jewel bearings. We'll see it later. Okay. Now the control system, the control torque can be provided either by springs or by gravity control. You are having spin control as well as gravity control. In certain instruments we employ the spring control, and in certain other instruments we can employ gravity control, but gravity control is employed generally for vertically mounted machines, meters. The control torque is provided by two hairsprings and in the same way as PMMC, but in such instruments springs are not used to carry any current. In PMMC, the springs carry current, but in this case, springs are not used to carry current. As I told you, gravity control can be used for vertically mounted panel type moving iron meters. So again, the same type, attraction type. You can see the very stationary coil, moving iron, control weight, gravity control, the pointer attached to the spindle. And this is my air damping chamber. You can see a piston. Pointer with it will be a non-linear scale. We'll come to it. Now the damping system, the damping torque is provided by the movement of a thin vane in a closed sector shaped box, or by a vane, or by a light aluminum piston. We have seen the previous diagram. By a light aluminum piston which moves in a closed chamber attached to a moving system. Now, eddy current damping cannot be employed for moving iron instrument owing to the fact that any permanent magnet that will be required to produce eddy current damping can distort the otherwise weak operating magnetic field produced by the coil. Now, the last part, the pointer and scale. The pointer is carried by the spindle attached to a moving system and moves over a calibrated or graduated scale. Same indicates the angular displacement of the soft iron piece or soft iron vane. The pointer is a light aluminum tube flattened at one end to form a vertical knife edge. Scale markings are non-uniform. Why non-uniform? We'll come towards the end. In order to eliminate parallax error, a mirror is provided beneath the pointer. Now we'll see the working principle. For understanding the working principle, I have taken two simple diagrams. So stationary coil, moving iron which is pivoted at this point, control spring, pointer and the graduated scale. This is a center zero type scale shown over here. Now this is another diagram which will help you to understand the working principle in a much simpler way. Spindle at both ends, you can see two jewel bearings. This is my iron vane or soft iron vane. This is my coil, stationary coil, spindle, two springs, pointer attached to moving system, and this is the control weight. So the attraction type moving iron instrument depends on the attraction of a soft iron piece into a coil carrying the current to be measured. The coil C is excited by the current or voltage under measurement, and same becomes an electromagnet. This becomes an electromagnet or solenoid. This field attracts the eccentrically shaped iron vane mounted on the spindle towards it. So this will be attracted when it is excited. The iron wave moves in such a way so as to increase the flux of the magnet. This is because the vane tries to occupy a position of minimum reluctance. Very important point. Vane, this is my iron vane, tries to occupy a position of minimum reluctance. The force, otherwise the torque, produced is always in such a direction as to increase the inductance of the stationary coil, thereby decreasing the reluctance. You know L is equal to N squared divided by S. Now the spindle is supported at both ends on a pair of jewel bearings J1 and J2. Thus the pointer PR, which is attached to the spindle of the moving system, gets deflected. Two springs S1 and S2 provides a controlling torque. The pointer moves over a calibrated scale. Air friction damping makes the pointer to settle to the final steady condition quickly. So that is the importance of damping. So we have seen the working principle of attraction type moving iron instrument. So a very simple diagram has been taken. Okay. If the current in the coil is reversed, The direction of the magnetic field also reverses, and so does the induced magnetism on the soft iron piece. Hence, the direction of deflecting torque remains unchanged. For this reason, such instruments can be used for both DC and AC measurements. Now we'll see the second type of moving iron instrument, and that is your repulsion type moving iron instruments, that is more commonly used than attraction type moving iron instruments. Underneath that you are having two types, radial vane type as well as the coaxial vane type. So its construction is slightly different from that of attraction type. Here we are having two pieces of iron rather than single piece of iron. So it works upon the principle, whenever two pieces of iron are kept side by side and a magnet is brought nearer to them, the iron pieces will repel each other. Now this repulsive force is due to the magnetic poles induced in the same sides of the iron pieces due to the external magnetic field. Here you can see poles are induced by this electromagnet. Here north pole is induced, here also north pole is induced, here south pole is induced, here also south pole is induced. One of the iron will be a fixed one, not movable, and second one is a movable one. This repulsive force increases if field strength of the magnet is increased. Depending upon this phenomenon, repulsion type moving iron instrument is constructed. So the basic difference is that in the previous case, attraction type, you are having only one iron piece. Here you are having two iron piece. Actually, being an electromagnet, identical poles are induced in these two soft iron pieces, north pole over here and north pole over here, south pole over here and south pole over here. Here, since both poles are like, there is a repulsive force which is happening on the moving part. So depending upon this phenomenon, repulsion type moving iron instrument is constructed, more commonly used than attraction type. So this is the basic principle of operation. Now we'll see the construction of the first type, radial vane repulsion type moving instrument. So this represents my stationary coil. This represents two soft iron pieces in the shape of vanes. So it is kept inside the coil, and the coil is of cylindrical shape which carries the operating current. Two vanes which are radial strips of iron. You can see the shape. One is fixed and other is moving, attached to spindle. Fixed vane is attached to coil. Coil being stationary, the fixed vane is attached to the coil, stationary coil. Movable vane is attached to spindle and suspended in induction field. This is present in the magnetic field created by the coil. Now this is the top view. This is a coil, fixed vane and movable vane. Now the point is attached to moving movable vane. The controlling torque is provided by one spring fixed at the top of the instrument. You can see the figure over here. Only one spring is there which is attached to a moving system. Spring do not provide the electrical connection like PMMC. Damping is provided by air friction due to the motion of the piston in an air chamber. You had seen the previous diagram as in the case of attraction type. Now the second type, the coaxial vane repulsion type moving iron instrument. Here you are having two concentric vanes. Unlike radial vanes, here you are having two concentric vanes, again surrounded by a fixed cylindrical hollow coil which carries the operating current. See the cross section view. This is my coil which carries the current, spindle which carries a vane, movable vane, and this is my fixed vane which is fixed onto the coil, stationary coil. The movable vane is having the section of a cylinder, cylindrical shape, and is mounted axially on a spindle to which a pointer is attached. The fixed vane, which is wedge shape, a peculiar shape, it's very important, peculiar shape, wedge shape, and has a larger radius, is attached to stationary coil. The movable vane can rotate coaxially inside the stationary vane. Coaxially, so it rotates like this, and you can see this as the top view. So this is my cylindrical coil, this is my fixed vane, and this is my movable vane. Now the controlling torque is provided by one spiral spring fixed at the top of the instrument. In this instrument, similar to the previous one, spring do not provide the electrical connections. Damping is provided by air friction damping due to the motion of a piston in an air chamber. That's not shown over here, but see the cross-sectional view of coaxial type, vane type. This is my coil, cylindrical in shape. The coil is wound on a bobbin. This is my spindle which carries a moving system. This is my moving system. And this is my wedge shape fixed coil. Poles are induced both in the movable part and the fixed part. Identical poles are induced. North pole over here and north pole over here, south pole over here and south pole over here. To a moving system, a point is attached and you can see one control spring. Now the working principle, it is same for both radial vane and coaxial vane type. When current to be measured or current proportional to voltage to be measured flows through the coil, a magnetic field is set up by the coil. This magnetic field magnetizes the two vanes in the same direction. That is, similar polarities are developed at the two ends of the vanes. Two vanes are there. So, similar polarities are developed at the two ends of the vanes. We have already seen the diagram, previous diagram. Since the adjacent edges of the vanes are of same polarity, the two vanes repel each other. As the fixed vane cannot move, the movable vane deflects and causes the pointer to move from zero position. The pointer will come to rest at a position when deflecting torque is equal to controlling torque provided by the spring. Damping is provided by air friction which brings the pointer quickly to its final deflected position. If the current through the coil is reversed, direction of deflection remains unchanged. This is because reversal of the coil field reverses the magnetization of both iron vanes so that they repel each other regardless which direction current flows through the coil. Hence, can be used for both DC and AC. Coaxial vane type instruments are moderately sensitive as compared to radial vane type instrument that are more sensitive. So, radial vane type moving iron instrument more sensitive than coaxial vane type moving iron instrument. Now, there is a comparison made between attraction type and repulsion type. In attraction type, the deflecting torque is proportional to force of attraction, while in repulsion type, deflecting torque is proportional to force of repulsion. Here you can see in attraction type, deflecting torque is directly proportional to strength of the electromagnet provided by the coil into strength of the magnetization of iron bar. Now in repulsion type, deflecting torque is proportional to force of repulsion, that is TD is proportional to strength of magnetization of fixed bar and it depends upon the strength of magnetization of movable bar. So both depends upon current which has to be measured. So we can see that TD can be directly proportional to I into I. We can write it as TD is proportional to I square. Here also strength of the magnetization of fixed bar depends upon the iron which has to be measured, and strength of magnetization of moving bar also depends upon I. So we can also write TD is directly proportional to I square. And deflecting torque for moving iron instrument, the derivation is out of the purview of your syllabus. So TD is equal to half I square dl divided by d theta, where L stands for the instrument inductance and the unit is Newton meter. So TD is having an expression for moving iron as instrument as half I square dl divided by d theta. So we can say that TD is directly proportional to I square. Now expression for controlling torque, otherwise known as spring torque or restoring torque. Again similar to the previous two instruments, you are having the very same equation. TC is equal to K theta, where K is the spring constant, theta is the deflection angle. At equilibrium condition, TC should be equal to TD. So K theta should be equal to half I square dl divided by d theta, or theta, the deflection angle, is equal to half I squared by K dl divided by d theta, where I told you L stands for the instrument inductance. We are very much interested in theta, so that I can rewrite this equation, write it as theta is equal to I squared into, this is a constant, 1 by 2K into dl divided by d theta. So deflection angle is directly proportional to square of the working current in MI instrument, similar to that of dynamometer type. Hence, scale is non-uniform or non-linear, or even we can say it as quadratic. We can otherwise say it follows a square law response. Now, every instrument has got merits and demerits. First, let us see into the merits. There are 6 merits. It is universal use because it can be used for both AC and DC. The moving iron instruments are unpolarized. They are independent of the direction of current. Hence, can be used for both AC and DC. Less friction error. The friction error is very less in moving iron instrument because their torque weight ratio is high. The torque weight ratio is high because their current carrying part is stationary and the moving parts are lighter in weight. Now, cheapness. A single type of moving element can cover wide ranges, hence cheaper than the other 2 types. Robustness. There are no current carrying parts in the moving system. Hence, these meters can be extremely rugged and robust. Overload capacity can withstand overload momentarily. Extension of range, which we'll be studying as the next lecture. Range of instruments can be extended. Now, the demerits. Accuracy. Since a large amount of power is consumed to supply I squared R loss in the stationary coil and magnetic loss in the vanes, it is not a very sensitive instrument. The scale of the moving iron instrument is non-uniform. TD is proportional to I square. It is cramped at the lower end. Hence, accurate readings cannot be taken at this lower end. Errors. Some serious errors occur in the instrument because of hysteresis, frequency and stray magnetic field whenever it is used for AC, due to non-linearity of the BH curve of the electromagnet. Deflecting torque is not directly proportional to square of the current. We had seen just now that it is proportional to square of the current, but due to non-linearity of the BH curve, the deflecting torque is not directly proportional to square of the current. Since the deflecting torque is not directly proportional to square of the current, as a result, the waveform error occurs in the instrument. Now, there is slight difference between AC and DC calibration. Calibration of AC and DC are different because the effect of inductance of the meter and due to eddy current when it is operated on AC. Actually, meter is calibrated on the frequency at which they use when it is used for AC operation. Now, temperature error. Increase in temperature results in increase in the resistance of the coil, decrease the stiffness of the spring and decreases the permeability and hence affects the reading severely. So, these are the demerits. Now, applications generally used as ammeter and voltmeter. As an ammeter, it may be constructed for full-scale deflection. In some books, you can see it as FSD. For full-scale deflection of 0.1 to 30 amps without the use of shunts or current transformers. Now, to obtain full-scale deflection with currents less than 0.1 amps, it requires a coil with a large number of fine turns, which results in an ammeter with a high impedance. Now, as a voltmeter, the moving iron voltmeter is a fairly low impedance instrument, typically 50 ohm per volt for a 100 volt instrument. Lowest full range is of the order of 50 volt. Using a high non-inductive resistor are connected in series with it. This series resistor is known as multiply. We will be studying in the next lecture. Now, very important that I have made a comparison between various indicating instruments which I already studied, PMMC, moving iron and dynamometer. Now, in PMMC, the control torque is generally provided by spring, damping is generally of eddy current, Suitability only for DC because it gives the average value. Used for DC current and voltage measurements in low and medium impedance circuits. Now coming on to moving iron, you can either have spin control or gravity control. Gravity control if it is a vertically mounted instrument. Generally air friction damping. You cannot employ eddy current damping. Suitability for both AC and DC, widely used for indicator type on panels. Now coming on to dynamometer type, again the control generally spring, damping, air friction. Suitability for both AC and DC, but generally used as wattmeter, can be used as ammeter and voltmeter, but up to a particular range. You already seen in the last lecture. Now it is very much used as a transfer or calibrator instrument. So that's a specialty of dynamometer type. Can be used as a transfer or calibrator instrument. So PMMC, MI and dynamometer type instruments are extensively used in our laboratories. Now the reference books, Basic Electrical Engineering by DC Kulkshetra, a course in electronic and electrical measurements and instrumentation by J.B. Gupta, and I have even listened to the video by Professor Abhishek Chatterjee of IIT Kharagpur. Lecture 5 and 6 on electrical measurement and electronic instruments. Thank you.